Yeah, so Malena decided to retire.
What Nick likely should have announced was that he needed to file for divorce, but Malena beat him to it. Based on what she filed, it does not look like it's going to be an amicable divorce, and Nick has millions at stake, legally going to be entitled to $5,000 a month in spousal maintenance for a total of 5 years, which ends up coming about to be $300,000. The house being worth $1.1 million will net her about $550,000. So now we're at $800,000, and we haven't even gotten to OTK.
I'm tired of waking up in a mansion that's not mine. I'm tired of waking up in a country that's not mine. I'm tired of streaming on a channel that's not mine. I'm tired of driving a car that's not mine.
You're being really selfish.
The alimony from this is going to be crazy. When it comes to divorces in the streamer space, I would say most of the time they can be pretty ugly, because the big ones you hear about come from huge streamers who have a lot of money, you know, or equity in something. So when the spouse decides to file for divorce, they or the lawyer will be convinced that they can get a lot from it, like much more than assumed initially. I mean, as someone who's been divorced twice already myself, I am fully aware of the laws in place that can facilitate the kind of divorces where someone will get millions from it. But even though I say that, I'm still surprised at this current news. The news of divorce between Nmplol and his ex-wife, Malena. And I say ex-wife, but some fans will consider her as like an integral part of Nick's brand, where she was like in love streams with him and added some flavor to it. But anyway, to get back on track, this divorce was brought to light by a legal savvy YouTuber known as Henry Resilient, with his video and crazy title going Nmplol and Malena $1 million divorce. But after watching the video, he does actually back that up with some good stuff like divorce papers, which is now public. And once you see the details, it's actually crazy the demands and property involved in this. So the main story I get from this, even though I don't watch any of these guys, the main story was that back in September of last year, Nick made it very public that they were separated, not divorced just yet, but you know, not being together. Either she was in Norway or, you know, someone, oh yeah, that was it, yeah, her mom got sick and she stayed with her for a bit, but they weren't together. But also on the emotional side, they weren't as happy as they were when they was married. That was another thing as well. I'm gonna put up in 1 second, but as it turns out, they got married when she was 19 and 24. And like, I find that so shocking. Like, if you find someone, if you find the love of your life at that young and you get married and you're still, you know, happy with them, good for you. But like, I would not recommend to a toddler, like some kid, to get married at that young. So if they're getting divorced now, I'm not, you know, saying like good for them, but I'm just saying like, you know, I'm not that surprised when you get married at that young and dumb of an age.
As far as the length of the marriage, they were married from September 25th, 2015, when she was 19 and he was 24. Way too young to get married. You know, people who get married at that age, you know, back in the day when my grandmother was around, they would still stay married. But now, the person that they are today, 10 years later, they are not the same person. Imagine if you had to get married fresh out of high school. Now, when it comes to divorce,
yeah, that sounds fucking crazy. I don't want to get you like the side of divorces, you know. I'm not a societal streamer, I'm not a societal commentator, but yeah, people nowadays get divorced way more frequently. But also, oh my, this video was also, I mean, this video was really good, a lot of great info in it. Bozo was pretty funny because he references like a clip from streams where you can like actually tell where, or what he claims, where the relationship was straining and getting somewhat worse. And when I watched it, I found it funny, but I was like, oh my god, that's a bit mean actually, Jesus.
I think their long-term viewers knew Malena may have been homesick, and every now and then it would come out while they were streaming.
I'm tired of waking up in a mansion that's not mine. I'm tired of waking up in a country that's not mine. I'm tired of streaming on a channel that's not mine. I'm tired of driving a car that's not mine.
You're being really selfish. Stop saying the word mine.
I'm tired of being around a family that's not mine.
Going back a bit further, they would break character, like when Malena did not want to say she loved him.
You know what's crazy, Malena? I'm falling more in love with you every day.
Thanks, bro.
Ouch.
Why are you saying these things so straight?
That part was crazy, I have to admit. But anyways, yeah, I think for someone like me that doesn't watch these people, I would be like, it's a big gay being like, oh my god, they're clearly getting divorced because look, they shook hands like, you know, friends. Not like lovers, like friends. I don't know, really. I mean, sure, yeah, if you're like a long-running fan of them, you would be worried of these signs. But anyways, yeah, like now it's been more public, and the way that Henry found out about this was a document being filed by Melania. She started back in January 16th, and then Henry, after filing a Freedom of Information request, yeah, there you go. See, it says right there, Henry Resilient. He now has access to it and has now made it public. So the last thing I want to watch in this video that I actually include right now is a segment where he breaks down why he believes it will be $1 million divorce. Where from what I got, it was three main factors. Spousal support, that was one. Some of the house that Nick bought with her, and then some shares from OTK, the streaming group he's in. And I'll watch right now and then I'll break down what I believe from it, because like that part was fucking insane.
Because it's close to the 10-year mark, signifying a long-term marriage in the state of Texas, she's legally going to be entitled to $5,000 a month in spousal maintenance for a total of 5 years, which ends up coming about to be $300,000 in just spousal support.
So already $300,000. Bro, I would not live in Texas if that was the case. Either don't live in Texas or get a prenup immediately. What the fuck?
So maintenance. The house being worth $1.1 million will net her about $550,000. So now we're at
that's what the poor bastard. They bought the house at like $700K when they first got it back, like, I don't fucking care, but now it's worth $1.1 million. So he has to pay the spousal support and half of the house already going to
$100,000, and we haven't even gotten to OTK. No doubt OTK is worth millions. Now, Nick is not so I imagine he owns a nice percentage, not a biggest percentage as some of the founding members, but substantial enough. OTK will 100% be audited and evaluate to properly inform her how much Nick's or their stake in OTK is actually worth.
Yeah, that part sounds like a nightmare. Having to go through the paperwork and then see, what part, like what profit, what revenue came from Nick, and then sending that to Melania. Again, in this situation, I have nothing against these people. It seems like, I think Henry said, like, in this divorce, it wasn't being sorted so amicably because Melania filed it, and Nick, as response, said that he doesn't want to send anything over, like nothing from the house, nothing from OTK, just absolutely dust. And it sounds like a bit of a dispute, but honestly I think this is, out of all like many divorces, like for example, as you see, if this went like his one with him and whoever the fuck that was, holy shit, that'd be a nightmare to go through, having like 10 fucking court cases going on at the same time, over and over and over. Nobody would want that. Or I mean, this scenario probably not like a best case ever, but like much better than any of the streamers before in history. So yeah, even though it sounds bad, having to pay $300K over the course of 5 years, $500,000, $500K, and God knows how much from OTK, it sounds bad, but like I said, these divorces, they never go that well. So also it depends. He's claiming $1 million, but at the same time, it could depend, on what goes in court. Like he could give nothing, or he will have to give $1 million over the course of 5 years. Who knows? Do I believe he will pay an amount? Yes, I think so, to a certain degree actually. Okay, so you have that, but now in this video, I want to cover some news that came from that news, from divorce, because as many of you know, there's a very popular subreddit called Livestream Fails. It's pretty big, and they got into controversy because this news went on there, and it got banned. Like, I'll pull it up right now, but it makes no sense. Like, it got pretty popular at nearly, let me check, 1.3 thousand upvotes, and it was taken down. And this moron, the mod who took it down, gave like the most dumb reason ever. Restricted content, no submissions about racist donations, stream sniper, whatever. He gives a list of all like the bad stuff you shouldn't put up, but like he doesn't give like the exact one. Like, there's 7 reasons, you find the one that you think is bad. Submissions about swatting or serious threats or violence against streamers will be removed. Submissions containing death or major injuries are prohibited. NSW content that is accidental or non-consensual is prohibited. No revealing the outcome of special events and titles. Threats discussing current military conflicts will be quickly locked and common nuked at moderation discretion. Okay. I'm sorry, which one of these rules was broken by this title that's not clickbait at all? I mean, it's 10 minutes long. If you watch it, I think most people would say, yeah, it does make sense. Like, the evidence is backed up to how Nick might potentially have to pay $1 million. It's right there. What do you want? What the fuck? Jug made ranked. fuck Twitter. Anyways, I don't want to delve too much into this because like I don't give a shit about like Reddit drama. It's so gay. But I will admit, one funny thing I saw from this was SUC interviewing one of the mods from this subreddit. I did not give a shit about what they talked about. However, when I watched the interview, the energy from them colliding together was so bizarre that I have to include this video. Because we have this first one. SUC and the head LSF moderator had a conversation today about biased OTK rule enforcement. Now that's what people were saying, like how that subreddit is, you know, completely biased against OTK or for OTK. Because whatever bad stuff about OTK gets taken down immediately. So I think that might be the case, but either way, just listen to like this guy's reasoning on why it was taken down and his voice. Listen to the voice of him and SUC. It feels like your eardrums are being fucking molested.
Nobody in OTK manipulates anything or talks to any of the moderations over there in a direct contact.
There's not a like. I think we've received a couple messages about like doxing stuff. But not of any of the ones that you've talked about here. Like 95% of the time, like a post gets removed, it's not going to be any. Like we're talking like a couple messages over the course of years, right? So
as a final question,
right, so first thing, apparently like they did get a message from OTK, but like over the course of the years of like the server being up, they got multiple upon multiple. So who knows if they got a message about taking down that post? Who knows? And also, that guy sounds so similar to XUC. It felt like so uncanny. Like, imagine if you found like his long lost brother in this interview with a live stream fails moderator. And also, it's so funny as well. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips. I got nothing from, like, there was not a single good reasoning to why like, that post was taken down. Just nothing at all. I mean, I watch it right now again because like this guy's voice is so funny. Like this guy's voice and fucking SUC interviewing him. It's comedy gold.
At a high frequency, which is fair, but that factor goes way beyond the reasonable amounts when it's OTK members. When it's OTK and it's
post about OTK is getting banned from the subreddit chat.
High comments, I'm telling you, most of them are deleted. I more than half of threads that involve OTK that have high comments are deleted.
That might be the case. Yeah, I can see what you're saying now. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely keep more of a lookout for that. But I mean, I will say, just to give some advice of my own, right? Like if there are some things that I think users can do where like we wouldn't, let's say you do think that we're biased, right? There are things that you can do where it's like, well, even if I'm biased, you can't I can't get away with removing it, right? Because it's so within the rules, even a biased person couldn't do it. But I mean, I get it's. I do wish though. I mean, I'll definitely keep a lot of it to myself, but I do wish that users would at least.
Yes, like no reasoning at all. So why was it taken down? We have no idea. What is the potential reason? There might be some OTK bias in it internally. I have no idea. I mean, that might be the case, but I have no evidence on hand to prove that is what's going on. Okay, that's enough for today. I had fun. Yeah, honestly, I didn't initially care much about this because divorces really aren't that interesting. But in this scenario, I found it way more investing because it involves someone who has a lot of good money on their pockets. As you mentioned as well, the way that the OTK shares might go out. Normally I think stuff like that would never, be brought up, but I can't remember if it was Henry alleging it or if it was brought up in the documents. I can't remember. Either way, that's more than likely going to be like the hardest part to manage from all of this. I mean, in complete respect of all the parties involved, this is being sorted out in a much prettier way than like most of the divorces. I brought up before about XUC, but that one was a much uglier one, where not only is it being gutted like a fish, but also is being aired out to everyone with hundreds of articles being made every single day. So yeah, about the divorce, I hope it goes well. Nothing like this is ever pretty, but that subreddit stuff, yeah, that's just pathetic. All you have to do is just keep a post about fails on live streams awe about live streamers because that's literally what it says in the name. Just do your job, whatever the fuck that was. It's that simple.